This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I'm your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Kristen Joy Laidig, and let me just tell you a little bit about her. She decided she was unemployable at the tender age of 6 when she started her first business, making and selling pet rocks with nothing but a Sharpie marker, gravel, and ingenuity. She currently manages she and her husband Tony's retail store, which she'll tell you about, and it creates all kinds of unique, fun stuff. On her off time, well, what's that? She brainstorms business ideas with her awesome husband Tony and hangs out with her 3 ragdoll kitties, one of whom you can just barely see. There's Taco. Say hello to Taco, everybody. She's even known to sleep occasionally. So she can find her books on Amazon. There's a link, KristenOnAmazon.com, and she also has an online store, which we'll tell you about at the end. These books can be ordered wherever fine books are sold, and her really cool, nerdy stuff is what we're going to discover more about. Kristen, welcome aboard.
Thank you. We're very happy to be here.
I can see that. So the first question is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the society at large?
Well, first of all, Taco's decided she's had enough.
Yep.
As usual. We actually, I manage now full-time our retail store for nerds, Nerdvana Outpost.
Yep.
And so our mission is to create a safe space for all people, especially those who love their fandoms, typically the ones who would get beat up in school. This is the place where they can come and hang out and enjoy our vintage arcade and shop and collect the things they like and meet other like-minded nerds like themselves.
Awesome. Well, hey, I was one of those nerdy kids as well. My idea of a fun extracurricular activity was to go to the library and read the encyclopedias.
I used to do that with the encyclopedia set underneath the grand piano in our living room.
Yeah, my parents bought me an encyclopedia set because they realized that that's what was just going to happen. This was in the 1980s before the internet. These days, one of the most dangerous things I can do is open up a Wikipedia article.
Google.
What will happen is by the time I've read one article, I've opened 12 of the links within that article in separate browser tabs, inviting me to a total of 13 rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
You. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what you're doing right now is basically your retail store. I just want to make sure I understand. Yeah. Is that bricks and mortar, online, or both?
Both.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Mostly brick and mortar. That's where I spend most of my days. And then we also have our website, and we ship all through the nation.
Awesome.
US of A.
Awesome. So in your experience, what are the 3 frequently asked questions you get from folks who are considering buying your stuff?
Are you getting this in? Are you getting that in? And are you getting that other thing in? Always the same question, different things getting in.
Yeah. What are 3 questions you wish they would ask?
I wish it would be more like, we really absolutely love this fandom. Would you be able to order more in this? Like letting me know the kinds of things that they like. Yeah. Just because in retail, it's a lot of practicing my mind reading techniques, and I'm a little rusty on those. So that, but really for the most part, the customers we get to see every day, which I absolutely love that part of the job, getting to see people face to face. They are very gracious. They're very understanding, and they're really awesome. And most of their questions are not stupid. They ask very smart questions, and I appreciate that.
Awesome. Let's have some fun here. Let's shift gears a little bit. What would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
People who know me well might already know this, but I have grown from the ground up 3 different businesses and sold all 3 of them.
Wow.
I've started a lot more businesses, but of the ones that were my own, I actually sold all 3. The most recent one was the Book Ninja, which is what I was most known for, and which you interviewed me for in the past.
Yes, yes, on my other show, the Business Creators Radio Show.
Yep. So that particular business was sold in late 2019, going into 2020. And I went full-time with retail 2 months before the pandemic hit.
Oh, perfect timing. Yes.
Great timing. We already had the store. We'd had the store for 2 years. But this was me stepping in full-time and being in charge full-time, which I highly recommend if you have a business that you have a foot in that business.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting juxtaposition. You were known for years for the Book Ninja stuff. In fact, that's how we originally connected. I actually bought a couple of your courses on book writing way back in the day. And for all I know, they're still online. Probably are. And then I find out you're doing this retail stuff. And
you're like, what are you thinking?
I get it. I get it perfectly. Part of it falls under multiple streams of income, where not all the streams are the same thing. See, this is where, in my opinion, the whole multiple streams of income thing becomes somewhat diluted. You see so much in business coaching. Well, if you're going to have another stream of income, make it one that goes with the business you already have. Okay,
that works that way.
That works to a degree, but you got to be careful not to get stuck in one segment, because if that segment takes a hit, now you have multiple streams of income that are being choked.
Right.
Whereas you have the book stuff, you have the retail store, and something else you have, guaranteed pretty much at least one of them is going to work.
Yeah,
given time.
I'm pretty sure. Actually, we are in the process of building the Nerd store to the point that we could have someone else take it over, whether that is to manage it or whether that is to purchase it. We're not sure yet, because my husband and I are also starting another company called Magical Bear, and we Magical Bear. You've heard about this in a little bit.
Yes, I have.
We have been working diligently on that, and my goal is to be working side by side with him on that full time in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, I have to go off script a little bit here, and we have time to do it because we're moving so fast. You are one of those folks who have mastered the art of working with your spouse, Tony, who I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet. I hope he stops by here at some point, because I know he's doing some great things.
He's actually taking a very rare nap. He never naps.
Wow, that's awesome when you have that level of brilliance and passion and keeps it going. So, what would you say are some of the things that our listeners should know about effectively working with your spouse or your life partner?
First of all, only do it if you're compatible. Some people just don't work well together. Don't try and force it. Like, if you're not naturally able to bounce ideas off each other and accept customized criticism, but just accept the back and forth that goes with, I really don't think that's a good idea. Why don't you think that's a good idea? Well, this is why. And be willing to listen to the other person. Then it's going to be a rough road. I think we work really well together, not just because of our work relationship in the past. We've each run our own companies. We've each been very successful with those companies. But we also work well together because we have a good personality mix. So we naturally flow very well together. Like, people are asking, how can you... I'm in my office right now, my home office. His office is on the other side of that wall. And like, how can you work literally in the same space 7 days a week, which we did even through the pandemic when I was working on the store website from home a lot. And honestly, being at the store 3 to 4 to 5 days a week now, it hurts. I miss being around him because we just work so well together naturally. So first of all, just make sure don't try and force it. Some people just don't need to have that much time together.
Yeah.
And some people thrive with that much time together. And we are a couple of those people.
Yeah, I guess it calls for having a realistic assessment of the situation. There are some couples out there who do their best work apart.
Yeah.
I know
And they
the
might
couple
work
that
in the same business, but they
yeah.
work completely different roles, and that is perfectly fine. We happen to have a lot of the same talents. Like we're both career graphic designers, so we were talking today about what is my role in Magical Bear. Like we're just brainstorming this on the way to lunch today, and I said, honestly, like I do 8 hours of bookkeeping every week. That's going to be part of my role. It's underneath the Interact company, our main company, so that's me running that company, but I'm also really, really good at marketing and seeing patterns and follow-up stuff and automation and systems and all of that.
Yeah.
Never ever thought I'd say I was good at systems, but I've made myself good at systems over the years. And so I see myself taking that sort of role where he's more the creative talent. He's the brains. We're both artists too. Like I actually have an art degree and he has a certification, but he's very, very talented at the type of art he's doing. And the direction we're going, product creation, is his gig. My gig is manufacturing and selling those products.
See, that's a great compliment to each other. Now, what I'm COMPLEMENT, and it's also a COLPLIMENT for you both having the self-awareness and mutual awareness to make that work. And what I meant by what I said is some couples work best apart is I'm aware of a couple who I've met several times who have been together for 30 years. They don't even live together. It's because they recognize they want to be alone most of the time.
And some do. Some thrive with that.
Yeah. So I think overall you just got to find what works for you. And I think it's awesome that you found something that does work really well for you. Now, what do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Well, hopefully good things.
Yeah.
Because I tend to be very straightforward and to the point, and I have trouble lying. I'm extremely honest. So if someone wants my opinion, they better really want my opinion. So I hope that behind my back, they say things like, I really appreciate your honesty. I appreciate that you didn't beat around the bush with me, that you said, this is the way it is, and this is how it should be. And I took that and I ran with it, and I'm successful now today. Like that would be awesome.
Fantastic. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing you've experienced, what would it be and why?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff I'd love to change, but the fact is all of those things led me to be who I am today. And I kind of like who I am today. So I honestly don't think I would change anything. I mean, it's been a rough road here and there, but
that seems to be
through it all.
That seems to be one of the most common answers we get here. And my thought about that is that while we can't go back and change what happened before, we can pay it forward by helping others discover it before they go through some of the same things. Like there are certain things that I did not know what questions to ask. I didn't know what I didn't know. When I see somebody else who's coming up the path and they're having the same issue, maybe my story will inspire them in some way.
Right. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I also think that in the entrepreneur realm, we often automatically think like that anyway. Like we understand with personal growth and stuff that we wouldn't be here today in who we are today.
Exactly. What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And what questions would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
This is a hard one because I honestly don't know. I've never been into famous people at all. I might go back and I ask a scientist something, but I don't know what that would be. I honestly don't have an answer for that one.
Great. Well, that's okay. What motivates motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Rest. Honestly, my massage chair. Highly recommend. If you have to finance it. Like taking a step back is what I usually need. I tend to get overwhelmed because I have so much going on. I'm spinning a lot of plates. And when I do get overwhelmed, like actually happened yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I need some me time. I need to take a step back. I tell Tony I'm going to be down in my chair. He knows what that means. And I am in my chair for anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours sometimes, just hanging out, getting a massage, getting the heat. And sometimes I listen to a podcast during that time. Sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I don't listen to anything. Sometimes I fall asleep. So it's definitely something that I've learned that self-care in that way for me is very, very important.
Yeah. So finally, and I know you have something you want us to share with our listeners, and I'll do that. But in general, right now, what is one thing that you would recommend our listeners do as soon as we finish up here?
If you're thinking about starting a business, even if it's brick and mortar retail, and that scares the you-know-what out of you, I'm not sure if this is rated PG or G or what, but if it scares you, take that first step anyway. People might think I'm crazy for having jumped into retail right before the pandemic, a couple years before. We didn't even know about that, of course, but that I'd keep it going through the pandemic. And we just had our first net profit month in that business in April. So that's awesome that we are seeing a profit now at our 3-year anniversary, when most retailers do not see that for 5 to 6 years. So just because I dedicated myself and I jumped in with both feet and I just did it, and I didn't know anything about retail when we got started, it's been a huge learning curve. But because I took that step, I can now look at all of the lives that we've touched and look at all the people I get to see on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, and the ways I'm getting to make people smile every day. And that to me is totally worth it.
Yeah, I can hear business coaches everywhere saying, but you're doing this stuff with books. What the hell are you doing with a retail store?
Yeah, everywhere. Oh, I had a couple of my coaches call me on that. And I'm like, my passion has always been toys and books, never just books.
Now you can have both.
Exactly.
All right. So this has been so much fun. And what I want to invite our listeners to do is visit your store at nerdvanaoutpost.com. That's nerdvanaoutpost.com. And there you will discover an epic nerd experience, both online and offline. I'm going to allow our listeners to go check that out and find out for themselves, in alignment with their own truth, what that means. I know I myself will probably have to log off here and go do it myself, because I'm now excited about this whole nerd experience. So Kristen Joy Laidig, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Thank you, Adam. It's been great.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.